No, it doesn't work that way. It's
Oh, it
highly
doesn't.
competitive. Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
okay.
no, it's incredibly competitive. People think that just because they can do a funny voice, they should be doing voiceovers. But no, it is acting. It's just a different style of acting on a different platform. You have to make choices. You have to have a full character. It has to be interesting. It can't just be a funny voice and I can do a funny voice. I mean, that's not funny. That's just me doing a funny voice. It's not one of my characters, which I know and love. It could totally do for days and days and has emotions about things. I don't know if I gave you a good example, but it's they're real characters. They just happen to be animals or inanimate objects.
Yo, what's good? It's your boy Raysean from the Raysean Gadson Anime Podcast, or RGAP for short. And on today's episode, we got us a special guest, the legendary voice actress Dina Sherman. You might recognize her from her iconic roles in Digimon, Bleach, Naruto, and even Smite. Join us as we dive into the world of voice acting, explore Dina's personal journey, her amazing achievements, and the story behind her anime career. We'll also be sharing tips for inspiring voice actors and chatting about some of our favorite fantasy movies and why we love them. If that sounds interesting to you, then sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. And don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you're watching.
What is this thing? Oh, no! Huh? It's an edible Cupid doll! I think to help you eat all those sweets. Good thing you got sick, or else you would have gotten to eat all these gas. Oh, wow, hey. This is so exciting. I've dreamed of being naked and afraid for ever. I'm definitely not afraid, and I have no problem being naked. Oh, I'm very comfortable in my own shell. Yeah, I just don't like centipedes. Ew, gross, no. I don't want a centipede crawling up my vajayjay.
Before we get started, I just want to allow my guest the opportunity to introduce themselves, basically tell everyone where you're from, what you do, and also share with us your top 2 favorite fantasy movies and why you think they're great.
Sounds good. My name is Dina Sherman. I am a voice actor. I live in California, Los Angeles area. I've been doing voice acting for cartoons, anime, commercials, yada, yada, yada. Anytime you hear a voice and don't see a human person, that's voiceover. I've been doing it for 3 decades, a very long time.
Okay.
And I love what I do. My two favorite movies of all time are The Princess Bride. I just love the actors, the characters in it. I have so many lines, Inconceivable! You say the iocane powder is in front of you, but you are mortal. Therefore, it is not.
Wow, okay.
Wallace Shawn. There's just so many things about that. And I loved Young Frankenstein as a kid. Put the candle back, Frau Brooker. There's just so many fun lines from that. They're just great movies, iconic. Those are my faves.
I definitely got to check out Young Frankenstein again because I've watched that in the past, but I definitely got to check it out again. That was a great movie.
Yes.
For my 2 favorite fantasy movies, I told you before we started recording that I just did a Harry Potter marathon. So for my first one, I have to pick Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. I thought that was a pretty good movie. I liked it to see the character of Snape, basically getting to see his background. You also get to see the death of Dumbledore. Spoiler alert, but I feel like these movies been out for about 15 years now. So we also learned about Horcruxes. So I thought that was pretty awesome. For my second one, I picked Percy Jackson and the Olympian, the Lightning Thief. I thought the first movie was a good movie. I know a lot of people say it's not really it don't connect to the books, which I haven't read the books, so I don't know how good they connect. But
I did read the books.
Was it a good? Was the movies
So,
really good or not?
I still enjoyed the movie very much. I loved the book. There were parts in the book that I could picture as I read it, could be a movie, but they didn't pick those scenes. And I'm like, how could they not? They would have been like, it took place in like a rundown carnival, like, and it went on a roller coaster, Love Shack, the horror tunnel thing. And, of course, all the Zodiac, or I should say, all the like Zeus and Titan and all those characters,
the Greek gods,
mythological Greek and Roman gods. Yes, were attacking them and all this, but it was in like a carnival arena kind of a place, which would have been so cinematic, but they didn't use that scene. So
yeah, that's crazy.
If you didn't read the book, you didn't miss it. But if you read the book, you're like, how could they not? Both.
So do you like the TV show better?
You mean the film?
No, they actually made a TV show too, because they wanted to redo it because the author wanted to come back and make a remake of it, because I guess a lot of people didn't like the film, so because they wanted it to be more accurate towards the book. So if you haven't checked out the TV show, you should definitely check it out.
Will do. Is it animated or is it a live action?
It's a live action.
Okay. I will definitely check it out.
Got to. And I'm glad that you also agree that the movie was pretty good, because
I
don't see why people don't think it was. I thought it was good. I was like, at this point, they should just make it like its own standalone thing, because I thought it was amazing. Well, let's go ahead and jump into our interview. For my first question, I wanted to ask you is basically, what is the main reason that got you into voice acting? And was voice acting your first choice?
I had a lot of background for voice acting before we knew what it was. But I did on camera. I was on camera. I did some TV and theater, and I lucked into voiceovers. And at the time in the 90s, a lot of people were, oh my God, why would you do voiceover? Like they poo-pooed it. Like, ooh, you're a commercial actor. Ooh, you're a voiceover actor. Just was the bottom of the barrel. But wow. I found such joy in that community of people, in the projects, and in bringing characters to life, and not have to worry about going on set and hair and makeup and wardrobe and all the other things that go with it. You can just record and have a great time. It was so much fun. So, times have flipped now. Everyone's like wants to do voiceover. But when I started, it was kind of like the ugly stepchild.
Wow, that's
acting.
Crazy.
I know. You wouldn't think, but I've loved it since I started.
Yeah, because I would think, like, especially for like actors or stuff, since that's a career where it's all, you never know if the next job is going to come. Voice acting, it seems like it'd be that thing that you can kind of just get into when you don't have an acting job, to kind of fill in the space a little bit. But I guess people don't think like that.
No, it doesn't work that way. It's highly competitive. Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, it's incredibly competitive. People think that just because they can do a funny voice, they should be doing voiceovers. But no, it is acting. It's just a different style of acting on a different platform. You have to make choices. You have to have a full character. It has to be interesting. It can't just be a funny voice and I can do a funny voice. I mean, that's not funny. That's just me doing a funny voice. It's not one of my characters, which I know and love. It could totally do for days and days. It has emotions about things. I don't know if I gave you a good example, but they're real characters. They just happen to be animals or inanimate objects.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
And it's highly competitive.
I know, especially ever since the pandemic, a lot of people have been getting more interested in it, and the fact that a lot of people can just literally do it just how we're doing it in their house with just a mic. You know what I mean? So I know you're probably competing with way more people now. So.
Yes, I am.
So how do you like think about like the surge of like anime popularity? Do you think that has helped make more jobs, get more people interested in anime? And like, how does that feel? How do you feel about that?
I love it.
Okay.
I absolutely love it. Anime is done differently than regular animation. In regular animation, the script comes first, then the storyboards, then the voice actors lay down all the voice tracks. Then they start to animate from that. And it could be, depending if it's a TV show or film, it could be anywhere from 9 months to 2 years before it ever sees the light of day, because the animation process is very slow. Anime is dubbing. So it's already done in another language, usually in Japanese, but you still have anime from China and Korea. And they're done in the original language. And when it comes here, we have to dub it. So we have to match lip flaps, we have to act and match kind of the voice, but the style. And it's a whole different ball of wax. But when you do it, you're isolated. You're in the booth by yourself. Mm-hmm. Even before COVID, it was always one-on-one. They did one character at a time for anime. When we do animation before COVID, we were in a group session. Unless the celebrity or somebody was busy, then they picked up their lines later. But usually we're in a group session, and it was so much fun because it's like being in if you were sitting on the other side of the glass with the producer and the voice director, it would be going to a radio play. You'd get to hear everything coming to life with everybody in the room. It's fabulous. But we don't get to meet our fellow actors when we do anime. And when I first started doing it, we had fake names. The show was always top secret. You didn't know quite what you were working on. And now when I go to conventions, because anime has gotten so popular, I get to meet the fans. I get to meet my other fellow voice actors. I get to see the love that happens, that connection with the community. It's unbelievable. It's a whole different world. I love that this has happened.
Wow, that's amazing. I got a question for you. Have you just started now? Have you just started recently going to cons and stuff?
Yes, I have. And I just got a Funko Pop actually this year for Yachiru Kusajishi. Come on, Kenny, let's go. For Bleach.
I have a question for you. It seemed like a lot of voice actors like in that first generation, it seemed like a lot of you didn't really do cons. Like I just started now recently get into cons because I talked to a lot of people from Naruto, the voice actor for Shikamaru and stuff like that, and he just recently got into cons. Was that something that just wasn't like in your minds to do? Like, or...
It wasn't available. It wasn't. We were never asked. It's because of the fans. The fans wanted it, and so cons started to provide it. And there actually are anime cons that didn't exist before COVID, or if they did, they were very small. So it's only recently that we've been invited to join the party, and it's because the fans. It's a wonderful relationship.
Wow, that's amazing. I didn't know you guys weren't like being invited because I wow, that's interesting in itself.
I used to live across the street from an actress who was on a big fantasy TV show. I forgot the name of it, but it was big at the time, and she was invited to do cons as an on-camera actress. And I thought I would never be able to do that because I'm not doing on-camera anymore. I'm doing voiceover. And voiceover is, again, the ugly stepchild. It was nobody was interested in it. And then the pandemic happened and everyone's realizing, no, it's actually really cool. There's really cool anime out there, anime video games, anime shows, great storylines, great characters, great animation. And then there's this great community of actors that we love our characters, and to actually meet the fans, it's awesome.
Yeah, I think a lot of people getting stuck at home and not really having nothing to do. And anime was the only thing that was literally keep giving you new episodes and new seasons while movies and everything else shut down. So yeah, it really did create a whole new bunch of fans and a whole new like revolution, you can kind of say. For my next question, you kind of hit on it a little bit. I wanted to talk about your experience working on Bleach. You are the vice captain of the 11th Division. How does it feel playing such a fun, playful, but serious at times type of character? How do you bring that to life?
I gotta say, I really, really enjoy being the comedy relief. I've been on panels where they're like, well, she's, over here is the star of the show. How do you feel having just these funny lines? And I'm like, are you kidding? I get paid the same thing she does. I don't have as big of a fan base necessarily, but I get to have a ball. I'm having a great time.
I get to say the funniest things. Come on, Kenny. Hey, Cubo, how come you don't have any hair?
And I get to draw it on him. I'm like, oh, are you kidding me? This is like, it's a hoot and a half. I don't have to be super serious. I mean, I do have moments, as every person does, but she's just a spitfire. It's a blast.
So how do you feel about how her character is developing through the 1,000-Year Blood War arc?
I'm not liking it so much.
Why?
I disappeared.
Yeah.
I don't get to voice her. I don't get to play. I don't get to be a part of it. I mean, the last thing I said is my arms are turning into cookies. I wouldn't eat myself. I love cookies, Yachiru, but I don't think I said that. But I did say it, and the guys were laughing, but I think they cut it. It's like, oh my God, I can almost eat myself. But yeah, she disappeared. So no, I'm not liking that so much.
Yeah.
Bring me back. Bring us back.
I'm not sure if you read the manga, but I know she's got another like nice moment coming up that's gonna basically hit the clue on a lot of things that's been happening in Bleach between her and Kenpachi. So I think that's gonna be a sweet moment that's gonna come up for you. But how do you personally feel about her as a character? Like when you first got her and seeing how she has grown to as much how popular she is, because the fact that you have a Funko Pop is amazing, because I've talked to some people who say they still don't have Funko Pops.
I just got her and I'm so beyond excited. I'm like, I get to sign them, but I have them. It's the coolest thing. I guess I enjoyed playing her from the very beginning because it's me.
Okay.
You
sing bubbly. Yeah, I can see that.
It was not a stretch. I mean, there's certain aspects about her that are obviously different than I am, but I tend to like comedy. That's my strength, and I find in tough situations I try to find the humor, try to find the comedy in the moment. I know there's times in my life where it's not funny and it's bad, and I've said if I lose my comedy, worry. If I lose my sense of humor, you need to worry. And everyone's just like, yeah, because that's a part of who I am. So to play this kind of a character for me, it's just an absolute joy.
You got any favorite moments?
Yeah, no.
Any favorite quotes?
Oh gosh, well, I love. Hey, Cuba, let's play.
I love when she says, how come you're not any hair? Here, I'll dry it on your head. For Ichigo.
Yeah.
I think it's Ichigo. I say it too. He gets so mad at me, and I love it. You have to realize that the Blood War is more recent, but the other stuff I did in 2000, 2001, and we're talking 20 something years ago. So
trying to remember back. Yeah, I know that's kind of hard.
I don't remember. I think I know what I had for breakfast yesterday, but don't push it.
But my next question is, what do you find most challenging and rewarding about being a voice actor?
It's very challenging booking jobs. It's very competitive. It's challenging to understand why you don't get a job in many respects, because you think you did a great job, you got coached, you nailed the part, yet you didn't get it. And now that I'm producing, a lot of times it has nothing to do with me or my talent. It was just a choice that they wanted something that sounded different. It wasn't that I could have done it better or I wasn't good enough. It's just they went in a completely different direction. They wanted a sound that was not something my instrument makes. And that's challenging, to not beat yourself up, to let go of it and move on to the next and keep a positive attitude and keep plugging away, knowing that I will land the right job and it will be mine. Like, Yachiru or Diona and Genshin Impact, or any of the jobs that I have had, other people competed for it, but that one had my name on it. And it's not that the other people were bad or wrong. It was just, this is the direction they took and I got lucky. So that is a challenge, to not get depressed, to not get sucked into I'm never going to make it. It's really, really hard. And if you're relying on the income from it, anime does not pay. It even though it finally went union, you can't survive on that kind of money. The video games, some of them you can, because some of them are now union and you get a day rate that actually you can live off of. I mean, if you're continuing doing it, one job, no. You have to understand, one job will not pay for your, your month. You're lucky. And anime definitely will not. You're lucky if it pays for your gas there and back and a meal. Maybe a Starbucks. It's not a lot of money. And there's taxes taken out. And, you've got you have bills to pay. So it's challenging to survive on a voice actor's income unless you make a series or unless you're in a feature film. And you have to just be working a ton. It's not like being on camera. On camera does pay a lot different. So that is a challenge. But what do I love about it? The challenge. No, kidding. I do not love that part. I love the characters I get to play. I mean, to me, it's just, it's hard work, but it's fun. Sometimes, I mean, sometimes it's not. Certain characters, if you're dying a lot or you're screaming a lot, or your battles a lot. Yeah, it's a lot of work, and you're sore from head to toe in your voice. You have to be prepared for that. Battle scenes, it's not just going, ka-cha. You're throwing the punches. I mean, you're moving, sweating. Yeah. Your whole body's going.
That just reminded me of that fight scene Yachiru had. So did you feel like you were given a lot when you were doing that fight scene?
I don't remember, but I'm sure I was. I don't just stand there and make noises. I'm acting like I'm actually hitting somebody and fighting somebody and taking a punch.
So you put your whole body within the acting? Okay.
Yes. Oh yeah. It's a whole thing. You get hit. It's like, you're not just going, it doesn't work.
I feel it. You brought up the fact that you mentioned producing.
Mm-hmm.
I hear that you're producing a new show. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I would love to. Is your audience adult or children?
It's a mixture.
It's a mixture.
But mainly adults, though.
Okay, good, because this is adult animation. It is not made for kids.
Okay.
It's called Bad Eggs, EGGZ, Bad Eggs, Naked and Afraid. N''apostrophe EGGED, Naked and Afraid. They're eggs. Bad Eggs, Naked and Afraid. And think South Park meets Naked and Afraid. So you got a bunch of raunchy bad eggs that are naked with blurs. So yeah, there's male and female eggs, and it's blurred out. And the main two characters, the contestants on the show, are Benedict and Florentine. And then unlike Naked and Afraid, you never see the crew. You just see the two contestants. Well, on Bad Eggs, Naked and Afraid, you get to see the dozen eggs, the crew. So you have our producer, Beaten, and he has an ED problem. He's beaten, yeah. He has an ED problem, so he's the reason all the eggs on the island are naked. He figures if a bunch of eggs running around with their bits and parts exposed, if that doesn't get a rise out of them, nothing will.
I can see that.
Huevos is our director, and it's called gymnophobia. It's a fear of naked parts. So he had no idea that everyone was going to have to be naked on the show filming, and so he's just constantly vomiting.
Oh man,
because it's like, oh my god. Yuri Lowenthal is playing Benedict.
Okay.
Daniel Ross is playing Huevos. Do you have an arm behind you? Something was delivered. Dave B. Mitchell is our narrator, who is Egg McMahon. He's an ex-pro wrestler. I don't know if you know Vince McMahon used to own. Yeah, so it's kind of a throwback to Vince McMahon and Ed McMahon, the announcer on the Johnny Carson show. Egg is an ex-pro wrestler who was in the WWE, World Wrestling Eggs, as opposed to World Wrestling Entertainment, the WWE. He used to partner up with the Juice in wrestling, and they would do the fast food fuck over.
I definitely got to see this. Sounds so interesting.
It's fun, and it's short. They're 5 minute short, 5 to 6 minute shorts on YouTube. But we're going to be doing micro shorts that'll be posted on YouTube Shorts, Instagram, and TikTok.
Okay.
You'll get to see like little versions, and then you'll get to see the whole version. The whole episode will get put up. But until the whole episode is done, little pieces will be put up. So you'll get to enjoy it as it goes. And there's like a joke a minute. So, yeah.
Who's animating it?
I have a guy named Johnny Burgess. He's really good. Michael Derry is my character designer, and the characters, people go, oh, this is so cute. Oh, and then they notice Benedict has a ginormous, unexplained, huge Humpty Dumpty and Bangers. So it's this giant blur in the shape of what it's blurring. Yeah. Okay. It's so funny to watch people's expressions because they always look at the phone like, oh my God, that's so cute. Oh my God.
I know you said it was going to be an adult cartoon, but I didn't realize it was going to be this. You know what I mean? Like,
adult, yes. But it's fun. It's raunchy, but in a fun way. I
definitely want to check it out. You said it's going to be like on TikTok, like on YouTube and stuff like that?
It'll be on YouTube, but then the micro shorts we'll put on. Because you have to remember, YouTube videos are landscape.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this goes on YouTube, right? Your interviews.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's a landscape profile.
Yep.
But the shorts are vertical, and social media, TikTok and Instagram, are all vertical. So things are going to get edited 2 different ways. So the full episode has to be horizontal because there's a lot going on the outside. When the verticals go up, you'll get little cut back and forth between the characters, and you'll see it, but you'll get to see the whole thing on the actual YouTube channel. So that's where it will live, but the little micro shorts will go on all the socials and on YouTube Shorts. So
okay. And when do y'all plan on releasing it?
Maybe you can help me with this. I have 6 pieces ready. I might have 7 by the end of the week. We'll see. But I was thinking May 1st or May 2nd. I want to do May Day, but that's a Thursday. So is Thursday a good day to launch a cartoon, or is Friday?
I would say Friday, because it seemed like more stuff is usually released on Friday, but Thursday would probably give you your chance of doing it like wouldn't really have to compete against anything. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that's an interesting.
I asked ChatGPT.
And what did ChatGPT say?
Oh my gosh. So I asked ChatGPT, should I launch my cartoon on May 1st or May 2nd? What's better, Thursday or Friday? And they said, we definitely should do it on the 1st. Fridays are great. But if you want to do it on the Thursday, the 30th can work for you too. So I wrote back to ChatGPT, based on my 2025 calendar, Thursday is the 1st, Friday is the 2nd.
Okay, that's what I was
ChatGPT wrote back, you were right. It is. ChatGPT is like, I stand corrected. It is a Thursday and Friday, 1st and 2nd. In that case, we think Thursday would be better. ChatGPT thought Thursday would be better to get the audience. So I have to ask some experts, but I'm going to need everyone's help once these things launch to subscribe to YouTube, but to share it on all the socials. If you see this, share it with your friends, send it off to other people. Oh no, my vet's calling. Well, they'll have to leave me a message.
If I see it, I'll definitely share it and put it on my Instagram, and hopefully a lot of my fans and people who check out my show and stuff, and will they share it too? Because it sounds like it's going to be really good.
That would be awesome. It's fun. We're all having the best time working on it. I mean, we have conversations with emojis going back and forth, like what's the best eggplant emoji, eyes looking, like squirting. Description of boobs and Humpty Dumpties. The bangers are dragging. Should we lift them? It's pretty funny. Inappropriate. Any other workspace, I would get written up to HR. But not when you're talking
fun.
bad
That's all
eggs.
that matters. You know what I mean? As long as you're having fun, because
we
that's
are
all we are
having fun. We really are. It's great.
because that's all we're looking for as adults, trying to find a career that we actually want to do. You know what I mean? So the fact
Yeah.
that you're actually doing something you want to do, amazing.
Yeah.
For my
And
next question,
yeah,
sorry.
go ahead. Nope, go ahead.
For my next question, I want to ask you is, what emotion do you find hard to portray?
Intelligent? I'm kidding. That's not an emotion. I have a really hard time with smart. It's sadness is a hard one. I mean, because I've had a lot recently, and to tap into that hurts a lot. So I would prefer not to touch that. I was on with a coach and he's like, I wanted to get you there. Doesn't it feel good to get there? And I'm like, no, it doesn't. It's a good day when I'm not crying. Making me cry is not a good thing. And then he was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, yeah, no, it's not good. Like, I know where to find that like this if I have to. I don't need to tap it if I don't want to. That is hard. It is.
Yeah, because I know a lot of actors, they have to kind of put themselves back in that head space to kind of bring out that emotion. So to have to put yourself back into that trauma every time just to bring out that sadness is probably emotionally draining, I would find.
Yes, it is.
For my next question I want to ask you is, when you were little or now, who would you consider like your role models in voice acting? Like, who are the people that made you interested in voice acting?
Mel Blanc. That's all that existed. He was it. He was the bomb. I mean, he was amazing. But there weren't voice actors. I mean, the 90s. So animation almost disappeared. And then in the 90s, a little movie came out called The Little Mermaid.
Mm-hmm.
And it relaunched, it gave a whole rebirth to animation, all like Hanna-Barbera. A lot of the cartoon studios, everything was closing down because animation wasn't happening. The Cinderellas, the Sleeping Beauties, that whole Disney wasn't resonating with people anymore. And so it was disappearing.
Wow.
Little Mermaid, the technology and the story and everything gave it a big rebirth. And that's about the time that I started. So there weren't a lot of people doing voiceovers. So my role models were character actors, Madeline Kahn, Bernadette Peters. Oh my gosh. Even I loved, not Jim Carrey, Cary Grant.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking of. Judy. There's people who had a unique way of talking. A unique perspective. I resonated towards that because ultimately that's where voiceovers ended up going, were these unique, strong characters who are on-camera actors at the time. I hope I answered your question.
If you weren't doing voice acting, what do you think you'll be doing?
My joke that I say to people, if I'm not going to be a voice actor, I want to be a concierge at a nice hotel so I could tell people where to go.
Oh, okay. That's a huge the prayer for voice acting, but okay.
I'm like, I've done, you know what, you need to go to this place for dinner, and you need to go to that place for dinner, and you know what, you need to go take yourself to the spa. I don't know.
Well, my next question I want to ask you is basically, I know you've been doing this for a long time, and you've probably met a lot of different friends and stuff over the years. Yes. Can you tell us why it's important to have a support system? And do you want to shout out anybody that's been a good support over the years for you?
Oh, gosh. There's a difference between a support system, people that you turn to when you need support, and then your network of people that you turn to when you need guidance.
Yeah.
So those are different things. My support system tends to come from family and friends that are in my private life.
Okay.
And I will not shout out their names. But professionally, my go-to people that I turn to for guidance and direction. So there's a person I think from the bottom of my heart is Tom T from Biker Mice from Mars. Tom T and Tom Cito. They introduced me to the people at Asifa Hollywood and asked me in like 2005, hey, would you like to be the announcer for our animation show? Sure. Never done it before. How hard could it be? I just have to read paper. um, this year marked my 20th year as being the live announcer for the Annies. I am the voice of the Annie Awards.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, and the Animation Awards, the Annies have become huge. Everyone is looking at what they're doing, and I keep saying to them, why don't you have an anime category? You want fans? You want a following? Have anime in there. So I'm pushing really hard for anime.
That
To be
most
in the mix.
definitely will help bring out
Yeah.
the popularity of it. They should definitely do that.
Yeah, and when I asked why gaming disappeared, and they said because they didn't get enough submissions. You need to have people submit for the category to have a competition, and the game companies just weren't submitting, which was very interesting. I don't understand that part, but so Tom T and Tom Cito helped me get that, and in that process, I've worked with Ned Lott, who is the talent coordinator. He's a casting director. I tend to go to him when I need coaching. He's wonderful, nicest man. For producing, Sherry Gunther Sugarman, she did Twilight of the Gods. She produced with Zack Snyder just recently for Netflix. And she's off to the Canary Islands, actually, to talk to a convention about producing and stuff. And she's
Wow.
amazing. She's been around since... she worked on King of the Hill for a bit. She worked on Rugrats. She was at Klasky Chupo. She's at Hanna-Barbera. The amount of work and body of work she has and experience out measures her years on the planet. She's amazing. And she's a big influence in my life. Gosh, there are a lot of people that make a difference along the way in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
But at the moment, there are people that and Ivy Eisenberg is a really good friend that I go to sometimes, both friend and professionally. I don't know if you know Ivy. She does Call of Duty. She's a casting director.
I didn't. I don't know. Well, that's amazing, though. Have you done Call of Duty?
I did something, but I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it because it's like a pilot for a storyline, and if the storyline got picked up, I don't know. It takes a couple of years before you find out, so I don't know.
Okay. We don't want to dive too deep into that.
Yeah, I don't know how to answer that. Yeah, we have a lot of stuff. We do have NDAs, so it's like, yeah, I can't talk about it. No, but she's great. I love Derry Berry has been helpful with things. She's a good coach for people. We're contemporaries, so I don't think I would. We sound alike, so we don't necessarily go to each other for coaching. But she's been in the business longer than I have, and she sometimes out of the blue we'll be somewhere together and we hang out, and she'll go, Dina, give me your phone. Okay, and she goes, you have this set up all wrong. If you're going to be recording on Twist Away from your phone, you need to have it set up like, and she does the whole thing, and she goes, here, now you're better. And I'm like, thanks. Can't knock that. That's pretty awesome. She's good peeps. I worked with Rob Paulson and Jess Harnell on Biker Mice from Mars, and they're amazing, just amazing people. I'm sorry, just voiceover. Most of the people in voiceover tend to be really good people, just nice, down to earth, and I'm happy to be in this community.
One thing I've learned talking to a lot of voice actors is it seems like you guys have a great support system. It seems like you guys all know each other and talk and help each other out. So I find that to be very cool. And it also shows the importance of networking and also trying to be a nice person and, just presenting the best person you can be, because you never know when you're going to meet these people again or when you're going to need their help to get another job or something, because somebody you might meet today could be a producer or a casting director on another project that you're trying to get into. So
yep, I coach with WoW voiceover. Actually, it's Voiceover Heaven. And it's interesting because there's people I'll try coaching that will push back. And I'm like, okay, so then I have to figure out how to work with them so that they get the note and they understand. But the producer side of me goes, I would not want to work with this person because they're difficult. This is a difficult person. So you never know who you're talking to, who you're working with, what they're going to be doing tomorrow.
Yep. And
my co-producer is so excited with the way the show's going. He's got something else he's producing. He wants me to come on and cast it and help him produce his show. And I'm like, wow, talk about the ultimate compliment. Like, yeah. But I'm also, as I'm meeting people, going, I would want to work with this person because they're open, they're friendly, we can talk. I don't want to necessarily work with this person because I don't jive with them, you know? And I could tell that if I had to direct them, I'm going to have an issue. I don't ever want an issue. I want to love
what you
working.
do.
Yeah.
You want it to be fast paced. You don't want to you slow down because you can't. Yeah, I understand.
You want to be easy. My biggest piece of advice that I tell people is the only person who is ever right in a recording session is the person who's paying you.
True.
That's it. You're not right. You come in with choices. I'm not right. You're not right. We come in with our choices. And if the person directing me is the one responsible for getting me paid, is saying, I want you to do it differently, it's my job to do what they ask. They're paying me. It's not my job to say, well, I don't agree. Well, I was thinking it should be this way. Why? That will never work. But if you have an idea and you say, I've had a situation where it was completely different than what I came in with. I'm like, whoa, that's amazing. I love that suggestion. I totally didn't even think of it that way. Give me a second to recalibrate.
Yep.
You know, and then I'll do that. Or I'll say, I hadn't thought of it that way. I was thinking, because it says on the paper, she's this here, or he, because I do little boys, they're this here. Is that not important in this point? That's something for later on? Or is that something you want me to address at this point? And sometimes they're like, yeah, no, that's been rewritten. We want you to do it this way. Or they're like, oh, that's right. I forgot. Yeah. So let's give me two takes. Give me one that way and one the way I asked. You got it. So there's a way of saying the reason I approached it this way is because of what you gave me on paper. If you don't want it, I'm happy to give you what you want. But you have to do it with kindness and realization that ultimately they're the ones paying you. They're right. You are not right. They are.
Yeah. So basically you're saying you need to work on your communication skills, you know?
Yeah, your listening skills. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. One of the challenging things when you're working on a job, you know, you've got the glass between you. Sometimes you're, you know, with COVID, you're on headphones, and sometimes they're still on headphones, but there's always an engineer on the other side of the glass. And when they turn the mic off and they do this, okay, we're going to have you do it again. Sublu taught us, don't pay attention to that. Don't let that upset you. Don't let that pull you down, because if you were to push the button, this is what you'd be hearing. No. We had Jersey mics yesterday. I don't want Jersey. Yeah, I don't, you know what? I don't even want to talk to you until we finish this right now. So let's think about something else, okay? All right, we're going to pick it up where we left off. You know, nothing to do with you whatsoever.
And you over here like mentally conscious thinking they talking.
Oh my God. Yeah. And it really is hard as an actor when they're saying, okay, let's just do it again. And this time do this. And you do it. And they go, okay, almost, but we want you to try to do it like this. And you do it again. And they go, all right, I want you to try it one more time. Give me a series of 3. And this time do it this way, but we really want you to try to get it this way and see what you can do. And then give me one of yours. Okay. And you do it. And they're like, okay, we're going to move on. And you go, I'm not getting it. I'm getting it. What am I doing wrong? You know? Yeah. And you start to beat yourself up mentally. A trick is to say, I don't know if I gave you what you want. If we have time at the end, let's come back to this line and we'll try it again. But let's move on. But if you didn't get what you wanted here, let's put a pin in it and we'll come back. And sometimes they'll say, you know, we'll come back to this line. So it's one line. You still have, especially with anime, hundreds to go. So don't get hung up. I had, and I will not mention names, voice director who was really messing with me. It was on a screen and he was scrolling while I'm trying to read. I'm trying to dub and he's moving it. He's putting the cursor all over the screen. And I finally had to say, could you please not do that? I can't read. It's sight reading. I'm not given the script in advance. I don't get to leave with it. I don't get it ahead of time. I walk in, have to read the line and say it like that, in character with the character's emotions. There is no practice. So if I can't read the line, I can't deliver the line. True. And he was just messing with me. And we had a break, and he was not nice during the session and pulling these little stunts that were making it very, very hard. And I said, how's it going? And he goes, Dina, I have to be honest. I'm really disappointed. I really thought you'd be a lot better than this.
Wow.
Yeah. I went, oh, okay. So I don't say the F word. I always say duck. So my brain went, duck you, asshole. You don't think I can do this fast? Fine. I nailed every single line after that, and I got done early because I was like, I'm not, no. I've never had anybody talk to me like this. And I know what I'm doing. That's the one thing about doing it for so long is you're like, I didn't let him, tip my apple cart. I didn't let him mess me up. I dug in and I delivered. I was brought back for another session, and he was replaced. They actually got rid of the director. And the new director is like, why did that happen? And everyone's looking at me like, don't say anything. And I'm like, oh, let me be smart. So it all worked out. But you have to trust your instincts, but know that at the end of the day, the person paying you is the one that has to fulfill the story's needs. You're telling a story, and you are one character in that story. And at the end of the day, you have to be a part of the telling of that story. And the director and the producer, the people on the other side of the glass, it's their responsibility to make sure that all the little players, all of us chess pieces that come in and voice our characters are all telling the same story.
True.
There's my long-winded answer.
I know you've already given us some advice, but we're kind of winding down to my last two questions. And my next question is basically, do you have any advice for anybody that wants to get into voice acting, that just get started? I know a lot of people in voice acting, all your careers are different. Like there's no straight path to just get into voice acting. A lot of people got it because they know somebody or they found a different route this way or this way. You know what I mean? So what you've seen, what is the best way for people to get into voice acting?
Well, nepotism is always the best way.
True.
Yeah, it's the easy route. I mean, I wish. I've been married a long time, but my joke with my husband is I'm sleeping with the wrong people. I'd be a lot further in my career. I don't believe in that, but it works for some people. I wasn't one of them. So when I first started, because as I said, I was on camera to begin with. I talked to a voice actress who was very successful, and she said, Dina, take classes. And I'm like, excuse me? She goes, you need to take voiceover classes. You need to understand how to work with a mic. You need to know how to use the tools that you've been given for on camera and stage and make it work for a microphone that's right in front of your face. It's different.
That makes sense.
And also on camera, for the most part, I mean, DC and Marvel movies aside, your world is built for you. You get to see it. I mean, in those worlds, you have a tennis ball or something to act off of because they create things digitally. But those aside, you have a world to create in. In animation or especially anime or video games, you don't. You have a script and a microphone and a mic stand. That's it. So you have to be able to create the world and make it real. So I believe that her advice was great, and I still stand by it, is take classes, meet people, go to, VO Atlanta, go to places where you're going to network. It's all about who you know. And they say success, the equation for success is when preparation meets opportunity equals success. And if you prepare and you put yourself out there and you are ready when that opportunity arrives, you put those two together and it will be successful. if you try to make all these connections before you are ready and you don't know quite what you're doing, you've never done it before, it might not go so well. Yes, I can see by your face you're getting it, right?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, so it's all of it. VO Heaven, you can look it up. They have all the pros. We all coach, whether it's commercial or animation. It's kind of divided into two, but we pick up other stuff as well. And there's all these pros that will coach. I mean, it's a very nominal fee a month, and you get to go to all these sessions and get coached by people who are working.
Wow, okay.
And I'm a part of that, which has been great. You can hire private coaching, although if you can get into classes and work out with other people, improv is amazing. Work on your improv skills. Get to be yes-anding. There's Improv for Life, Melinda Chilton. It's called Improv for Life, and it's all on Zoom, so you can be anywhere in the world. You just have to be available on Pacific Standard Time. I think right now it's Mondays, 7 to 10. I think if it's still that. And play. You have to just be able to improv. When someone says something to you, you yes and it. Yes, and.
Okay, that sounds pretty cool. I need to try that out myself.
Here, give me a situation. Like, just say, Dina, you should, and then tell me to do something.
Dina, you should bark like a dog.
Right? Yes, and I not only bark like a dog, but I can actually wag my tail at the same time.
Okay. I've never done improv. I always wanted to go to one of those shows because they always make it seem very fun when you see them in like movies or TV shows when you can just throw out suggestions and they kind of act it out. Yeah. So that would be cool to see.
Yeah, you just take whatever someone gives you and you agree with it and build on it. You add to it. And you do the same thing with your scripts and your characters, It puts life into it. And it's fun. Oh, it's so much fun. So I would recommend those two places to look. Wherever you live, if there's an in-person voiceover workshop, take it. If you don't feel comfortable with the person teaching, it just doesn't resonate with you. You just, I don't know, you try somebody else, until you feel like you're learning and growing. I mean, I've had coaches that I'm like, I get what you're saying, but for whatever reason, I understand cognitively.
It's not connecting.
I get it in my brain what you want me to do, but I can't seem to deliver it the way you want me to deliver it. So this isn't working on me. And and then you find a person that can get you to do exactly what that one wanted, but can communicate with you a different way. For learning, you want something like that, but you're going to work with that director or producer or that showrunner at some point who's going to be that, and you got to figure out what it is they want because they're right.
True. And for my last question, I want to ask you is, what do you still have left to do in voice acting? What else do you want to accomplish?
Well, I've done a Superman episode. I've done a Batman episode. I've done a Duckman episode. I really need to do a Spider-Man episode. So I get all the mans out. I want to play a villain. I would love to just be, although I just did something this weekend for a indie project where I wasn't a villain though. I was a kick-ass granny. My grandson couldn't do it, but he needed to stand up and kick ass. And I took on the bully as the grandma.
Oh, that sounds pretty cool. I definitely want to check that out. It was a
lot of fun. Yeah, I had a great time. They all loved it. It was fun. It was just a hoot. There's so much. I want to be a villain, but I want to be a villain that you love to hate.
Okay.
You said at the beginning with Harry Potter.
Professor Snape.
Snape, yes. Oh, he was, and I was so sad when he passed away. I was so sad because he was such an amazing actor. You hated him. He was a bad guy, but you loved him. You wanted him to be good, right? Yeah.
That's what I say when he had that few moments of like redemption when you actually got to see what his character was doing. It was like, oh man. But
yes.
Before then, You hated him.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
you
but
couldn't
you
stand him.
hated him because of what he possibly stood for, because he was that good. I want
Mhm.
to be a villain you love to hate, you know?
Yeah,
Um,
I think that's
yeah.
pretty cool. So you don't want to be a villain that's like they might be a hero. What they doing, it might be they're doing it the wrong way, but what they want is, you know what I mean? It's a lot of morally gray characters out there.
Well,
Like,
I mean, Harley Quinn is that.
yeah,
You know, she's the hero of a villainous story, kind of. You know, she's
yeah.
a bad girl, but you love her. I mean, it'd be fun to be a Harley Quinn character, but not I'm not right for Harley Quinn. The people,
Mhm.
the ladies that are voicing her are amazing. But yeah, there's other ones out there that I would love to do.
And with that, that wraps up our interview. I don't know if you had any questions for me personally that you wanted to ask, or any other topics you wanted to talk about or discuss.
Oh, here, I'll show you really quick because this is fun. I have a QR code. If you want to scan it with your phone, I have that. This is from Bad Eggs, Naked and Afraid.
Give me 1 second, get my phone.
Sorry, it's about me still. Am I terrible or what?
Okay, go ahead and
Can you scan it? Are you able to?
oh, can you move it over a little bit? Okay, yep, I was able to scan it.
Cool. So that way you can subscribe, follow, and share when I launch. What is it that you would like to do? I mean, you have this, but where do you ultimately want it to go?
Personally, I would like to get to the point where this kind of is like my main thing, that I'm just doing interviews, talking to people about animations, doing discussions about different anime and stuff. That would be the main goal. But personally, I'm more on a journey of trying to figure out what I really want to do, because I've been doing careers and different trades and stuff like that, and I've finally gotten to the point of like getting out of stuff that I didn't want to do, because I'm like, this is not, I'm just really in it for, like, I guess the money at this point, because other than that I don't like it, because I was doing dental assisting before this, and it took me like almost a year to be like, this isn't for me. Let me just step back and try to find what I really want to do, because it's not bringing that, like, the shine or the excitement or anything out of me when I do this. So I'm just kind of at that point now, just trying to figure out what I want to do.
Makes sense. Sometimes though, we have to have those jobs to pay for the things that we really want to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've
And
done
that's basically what
all
I'm
that.
doing now.
Yeah. Because the creative part of the business, yeah, it takes, you want to keep giving it, but it doesn't necessarily give back.
Yeah, not all in the beginning. Hopefully,
No.
it'll come back in the end. Hopefully, but at the
Yeah.
end of the day, I'm glad that I did find this podcast, because I kind of
Yeah.
started it during the pandemic, same around like when animation and everything started getting popular. I kind of wanted to talk to more people about anime, because the people around me were kind of getting tired of me talking about anime all the time. So I was like, if y'all tired of hearing it, let me just find some other people that want to hear it. So basically, that's what I've done, and this is the only thing I've been doing that's been consistent for like the last few years. So I've liked that too, being able to do something consistently every month and every few days, and have an episode and talk to people and stuff like that. So that's been pretty dope.
Yeah, it is dope. That's great. When you can find, moments to fulfill your creative passion, it's so fulfilling. But, we still have to do all the other stuff too, but it feeds us. All the other stuff, you can bring it in. I mean, it's still, you still have places for it in your creative world and your palette, so to speak. When do you think this will air?
This probably will air within a month, or maybe like 3 weeks. Within 3 weeks to a month, because I have 2 interviews that I have to put out before it, but then after that, it'll be next.
Okay. Wonderful.
So,
definitely let me know.
But since you did tell me you're releasing on May, I might try to be able to get that out next. No, that'll be next week. So I might try to see if I can jump it in for next week to try to get it out on the same time you release your TV show.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. It's
Okay.
fun. It actually looks really good. They're really good, my team. Wow.
I can't wait to see it.
It's not just stick figures. It's
So do
called
you have an Instagram?
the bad eggs. Oh, here. So on the link tree, but here, can you read this?
Bad eggs. I can see it right there. I took a screenshot, so I'm just gonna go ahead and look that up when I get done.
Okay.
Do you have a personal
Yeah. Dina
Instagram?
Sherman.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna follow you right after we get done with this, so then when you do release it, I can see it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And with that, we wrap up today's episode. But before we go, I just want to thank you for all your amazing work and bringing some of our favorite characters to life. And with that, I want to say thank you. I want to thank my guests for coming on and chatting with me. I had a lot of fun. I learned so much more about the industry of voice acting, and hopefully you listeners did too. Before we close out, I just want to give my guests the opportunity to plug themselves and basically tell everybody where they can find you. So basically give a shout out your social media.
Thank you so much. I've had the best time talking with you too. Thank you. Thank you for having me on your show. You can find me on Instagram at Dina Sherman, DinaSherman. On TikTok, it's Dina Sherman 21. On Facebook and X, it's Dina Sherman, at Dina Sherman. My Bad Eggs YouTube channel is Bad Eggs, Naked and Afraid. You'll be able to find it there. If you go to the posts, I have put up from the pitch deck some of the characters. You'll get to see and read about some of the characters before you actually see the animation. So it's kind of fun. And that's pretty much it. And you can find me. I will be at Stockton Con, I think the second weekend of July. And I'll be at Windbloom in Texas the third weekend of August, the 23rd, the 25th, I think, of August. Those are my two cons.
All right. All right. I'll post all her links and everything below. So if you guys want to reach out and ask her any questions about voice acting, or if you want to ask her about Bad Eggs, you can go ahead. And with
Thank
that, I just want to say, peace.